Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mindset Monday. I am your host, Erica Beach. We have a great topic today, and to me, it's one of the most important things as an athlete. At the end of the day, if you want more playing time, if you want to get recruited, if you want to build trust with your coaches, no matter what level you play at, every athlete has to have one trait that matters the most, and that is being coachable. And here's the reality. Most athletes think they are coachable, but their body language, their responses tell a different story. Being coachable has nothing to do with how good you are. It's not a talent thing. It has everything to do with your reaction and response to feedback after mistakes and how you take coaching in real time. So let's break down everything that coachable athletes have in common. So these would be the most important traits, in my opinion, when it comes to being coachable. We have four main characteristics. Number one is coachable kids and coachable athletes can control their body language. That's a huge one. Number two, listens without defending. That is one of the hardest ones, especially for young athletes. This one is huge. Number three, make quick adjustments. Great athletes who are coachable are really good at hearing the feedback and implementing the feedback quickly. This one's a little bit tougher as far as the ability for everyone to do it. Some kids just take a little longer to physically make adjustments. At least the effort to make the adjustments is there. That shows a coachable athlete. And then number four, not taking coaching personal, not being defensive and thinking it's an attack on you when a coach is correcting or teaching. So these are our four main things that coachable athletes show when getting instruction and feedback. Number one being controlling body language. As a coach and in my role recruiting, in my role with Perfect Game as the scouting director, I see a lot of softball. I see a lot of kids playing at all different levels. Body language is so big. I have seen athletes like 13, 15 years old in the recruiting ages get out at first base. And as they're coming off the field, the first base coach is trying to instruct them and give them feedback on their at bat as they're coming across the field. And I have seen multiple athletes roll their eyes and turn their back on their coach and leave while the coach is trying to instruct. And I about lost it. That right there is such a big red flag. If I am a college coach recruiting a younger athlete and I see a kid literally roll their eyes and ignore their coach who is trying to coach them, and I was close enough to see that it was good instruction. It wasn't anything where they're attacking them or belittling them. It was constructive criticism in the moment right after it happened so that it's fresh in the athlete's mind, which I do all the time. The athlete did not want to hear it. They were frustrated. Obviously, they showed poor body language. They reacted defensively. So body language is a huge thing. This is what uncoachable body language looks like. Eye rolls, hands up in frustration, walking away from the coach while they're talking, turning their back on them, slumped shoulders and bad posture, head down while getting instruction, lack of eye contact. Those are really, really big. Now, coachable athletes are going to have eye contact. They're going to look at their coach in the eye when they're receiving instruction. A lot of times head nod, just showing that you're processing the information and you are receiving it. Facing the coach, front to front, standing tall and proud. Your body language can tell your coach, I'm listening and I am absorbing. There it is. Number two, listening without defending. It is such an internal thing that a lot of athletes do just automatically. When you feel attacked or you feel getting like you're getting called out, it's your defense mechanism. The defensive mechanism is to defend immediately. It's just something that we have to train and become more aware of. It's natural. We defend ourselves. It's not a bad instinct, but when you are being coached and when you're trying to make improvements, we have to, as athletes, start to register how to receive information without having to defend ourselves. When you get feedback, uncoachable athletes will say things like, I know. That's a big one. You give some feedback on how to do something, and the athlete says, I know. Ugh, right? And in your brain as a coach, you're like, well, if you knew, you would have done it. But we don't say that, just so you know. But I am telling you, every coach in the country probably thought that. I know is the worst response you can ever give to a coach. So just hear first without the intent of responding. So uncoachable athletes will say, I know, I was trying to, but it's, do you see those little statements? Those are like excuses. It's defense. You're defending. Coachable athletes instead are listening to understand rather than to defend. You're listening to absorb and to understand what needs to be improved on. And you are literally absorbing so that you know you're going to use this information to get better rather than that instinct to go, but does that make sense? That is so huge. And at the end of the day, if the coach is talking, your job is to listen. Listen with the intent of understanding, not with the intent of defending. Number 3, making adjustments quickly. Now, this is very much athlete to athlete. Some athletes have better body and kinetic awareness than others. At least the effort to make the adjustments has to be there. There's nothing more frustrating as a coach when you instruct and you change your language, you try to teach one athlete how to do something, but you're attacking at every angle. You're like, hey, think of it this way, try this, do this, think of it this way. Look, have you ever thought of this? You know, coaches, you've got to learn how to say things a million different ways. And you've done every single method that you can think of and every drill and everything. And you have a kid who will like look at you and be like, okay, coach, and then do nothing different. Not even one effort to do anything different. They want to stay in their comfort zone, and there is nothing you can say that's going to take them out of it. And it's hard because athletes, I think, intrinsically aren't trying to disappoint their coaches or not trying to disobey. But there are some that think they know better. Your coach is your coach for a reason. You do show some respect to them by trying to implement the feedback that they are giving. Does every piece of feedback work for you? Probably not. Probably not. But how will you know and how will you gain something from as much feedback as possible if you don't make an effort to try the adjustments that the coach is trying to make? So by you ignoring the coach and just nodding and pretending like you're going to do it, and you just keep doing the same old thing and failing the same old way, you're telling them that you think your way is better than what they see. And like I said, not every kid has the body awareness to just immediately make big changes. I get it. But I would love to see effort and questions and what do you think? Is this better? That interaction when a kid is really trying to make an adjustment? That's what I'm looking for in a coachable athlete. Coachable athletes will try to implement the changes immediately. Even though most of the time when you try something new, it feels awkward. You have to be okay being uncomfortable if you want to make changes. If a coach tells you to do something and you're like, it feels weird. Yeah, because you've been doing it wrong for like thousands of reps. So like, why not give it this a go? Yeah, it feels weird. Feeling good is the wrong way. So you know what I mean? Like, let's try weird and let's see if we can do it correctly instead. So those are my internal voices that come in when kids come at you and think that the way they've been doing it is the only way, even though it's 0 for 20, right? Great coachable athletes. It's not about the talent. It's about the effort in making the changes and the aspirations to be better and trusting the coach to help you along that path. The effort to adjust, it shows respect to the coach, it shows awareness, and it shows commitment to your growth as an athlete. Number 4 is not taking feedback personal. And I know from me as a coach and from most of the coaches that I know, when they're giving feedback to athletes, it's not an attack on the athlete. Some coaches can be harder in their approach. Maybe they're louder, maybe they're right. Like we're all different people, coaches and players. But at the end of the day, there's not one coach that's going to be out there like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to make this 11-year-old hate herself and hate softball. That is not the goal of any coach. The goal of every coach is to make every athlete better, to hold them to a higher standard than they even know that they're capable of, and to bring out the best in them. Some coaches think that the way to bring out the best in some athletes is going to be harder on them. And some athletes have to have that to light the fire under them. Some athletes have to have a softer touch. They have to feel more safe in a safe space to be able to thrive. Some athletes have to be challenged and have to lit a fire under their butt to be able to challenge them to be better. Every athlete responds to coaching differently. But what I know about coaches, I truly believe coaches are out there to make the athletes better, and they're out there with the best of intentions. Their delivery may be not your cup of tea. That's fine. Find another coach or another program if this coaching staff is not matching with what you as an athlete or your daughter needs to be able to thrive. That's fine. But you have to know what your kid needs to actually draw the best out in them. And it's not about protecting them from hard coaching, because hard coaching does work. You've got to find a balance. Maybe I love staffs that have a hard coach, a little bit more of a nurturing coach, a positive coach, a coach that's super real. Look for the staff that has a little bit of everything, because then all the girls are going to get what they need from one of those coaches. If not taking feedback personally, the big thing is athletes who are not coachable and take instruction personally, they shut down, they get emotional, they stop improving. They shut themselves down when they feel like they're being attacked. And that's because it's that defense mechanism. And as an athlete, if a coach is coaching you, remember, if the coach is speaking, you listen. Listen with the intent of understanding. If you take your time to hear the words and process what they're saying and say to yourself, can I use this to get better? Can I do this? That will take away the defense and the emotion and the personal part. If you just look at it as coach is trying to make me better. And at the end of the day, the athletes who get the most correction and instruction usually are the ones that the coaches believe in the most and they believe are the most coachable. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I go over and over and over again with an athlete and they don't make changes and they are resisting and they're eye rolling, it's not going to take that long for me to stop coaching that kid. I will not be mean. I will not belittle, but I will not waste my energy and my expertise on an athlete who is not receiving my coaching, period. My time and my knowledge is way too valuable as a coach. I am going to pour into the kids who want to receive the coaching. If you're an athlete and your coaches are not engaging with you as much in practice, they're not giving you as much feedback, maybe you need to take a little internal self-check and make sure that you're not being uncoachable, because coaches will continue to coach. Even the best players on their team, they will keep instructing if they're coachable. They will instruct any kid who is coachable on their team. So pay attention to who the coaches pay the most attention to and who are they instructing, because I'm telling you right now, those are the coachable kids on the team. And if you're a parent and your kid is not getting the same amount of attention, there's a reason, and you should look inside and have those conversations about how they respond to feedback, because I'm telling you right now, there's a reason. They're going to put their attention where it's needed and where it's wanted. And then here's a good Mindset Monday challenge in regards to being coachable. Pay attention this week on your responses when you get feedback during games or practices or any time that you're getting feedback during instruction. So pay attention. How do you respond to correction? Are you making eye contact? Are you nodding? Are you absorbing, listening to understand? What's your body language looking like? And then are you listening or defending? And are you trying to actually make the changes that the coaches are bringing up? Like, just this week is about paying attention to how you're responding. See what your instincts are doing when you get coaching. Are you getting, ooh, I feel attacked? Or are you feeling, yay, more information to make me better? You know what I mean? So play with that and pay attention to that this week and see what it feels like. And if you're a coach, have that conversation with the team as a whole about coachability. Have the conversation about your expectation about when you instruct, the expectation is to give mutual respect. So I, as a coach, am giving you as an athlete respect by giving you my knowledge to make you better. You as an athlete give me the coach respect by making eye contact and hearing me and trying to make the changes. The two-way street. So coaches, maybe have this conversation with your team. Challenge your team to see if they can start to recognize what the instincts are during lessons, during instruction and correction. So that's my challenge to you guys this week for Mindset Monday. Have fun. Being coachable is something you never grow out of. These are lessons that are going to take you way beyond sports and way beyond your youth. So thank you guys so much. Have a blessed day. I will see you guys next Monday for Mindset Mondays. Have a good one, guys.